Chosen one, God fought for you to see this. This come for you just. In the quiet coastal city of shadows and salt air, there lived a young man named Elias. He was not remarkable in the eyes of the world, no wealth, no fame, no unbroken string of victories. His days blurred into nights of quiet struggle, a job that drained his spirit, dreams that felt like echoes fading too fast, relationships that cracked under unspoken weight, and a heart that carried questions heavier than stone. Why him? Why the endless tests? Why did the path forward always seem blocked by invisible walls? Elias had grown up hearing stories of faith, of people like David facing giants, Esther rising in hidden favor, Job enduring loss yet holding fast. But those felt distant, like tales told to someone else. For Elias, faith was a flickering candle in a storm. He prayed, yes, but the answers seemed delayed, silent, or worse, redirected to others. He watched friends climb ladders he couldn't even reach. He buried loved ones too soon. He fought battles no one saw. Anxiety that woke him at 3 a.m. Shame that whispered he was forgotten. Fear that tomorrow would be just another repeat of yesterday. One evening, exhausted from another fruitless day, Elias walked to the edge of the sea. The waves crashed like accusations. He sat on the rocks, head in hands, and spoke aloud for the first time without filter. God, if you're really there, if any of this matters, why does it feel like I'm losing? Why do I keep getting knocked down? Have I been forgotten? Am I even chosen for anything, or is that just something people say to feel special? The wind answered first, sharp, carrying salt and something deeper. Then came the memory, unbidden but vivid. Years earlier, when Elias was barely 20, he had stood at a crossroads. A friend, his closest, had fallen into darkness, addiction, despair, a path leading straight to destruction. Everyone else walked away. They've made their choices, they said. But Elias couldn't. Night after night, he sat with that friend in dingy rooms, listening, praying, refusing to leave. He lost sleep, money, even pieces of his own reputation. People called him foolish. You're wasting your life on someone who won't change. But Elias stayed, and slowly, miraculously, that friend climbed out. He rebuilt. He found light again. Elias never took credit. He always said, "It wasn't me, it was grace." But deep down, he wondered if that was the only act of meaning his life would hold. Now, on this lonely beach, the memory returned like a whisper from heaven. I saw every night you stayed. I saw every tear you hid. I fought for that soul through your hands, and I fought for you too. Elias looked up. The sky had cleared, stars piercing the dark like promises. In that moment, fragments began to connect. He remembered the job he lost 2 years ago, the one that felt like betrayal. But that loss forced him to move to this city, where he unknowingly crossed paths with a stranger who would later become his mentor, opening doors he never knew existed. He remembered the relationship that ended in pain. It hurt like fire, but it broke chains he didn't realize were binding him. Chains of codependency, of settling for less than he was worth. That heartbreak carved space for something truer to enter later. He remembered the nights of sickness when doctors offered no hope, yet he woke each morning, breath after breath, strength renewed like the old scripture said, "Those who wait on the Lord renew their strength." He hadn't seen it then, but now he realized God had been fighting battles Elias never even knew about. In the spiritual realm, unseen warriors had clashed. Darkness had tried to snuff him out through doubt, through distraction, through despair. Accusations flew. He's too broken. He's too late. He's not worthy. But every time a greater force rose, not because Elias was perfect, but because God had marked him long before his first cry. A chosen one, not for ease, but for endurance. Not for spotlight, but for silent faithfulness that shifts eternities. The waves softened. Elias felt a warmth, not from the air, but from within. A voice, not audible but undeniable, spoke to his spirit. "Chosen one, I fought for you to see this. This moment, this message, this is not random. This comes for you, just you, right now. Every closed door was my hand protecting you from paths that would have destroyed your calling. Every delay was me aligning stars you couldn't see. Every tear was collected, every prayer recorded. I didn't bring you this far to abandon you. I fought the enemy who tried to quit. I fought the lies that said you were alone. I fought time itself to keep you breathing until this exact season. You are not behind. You are right on time. The fire you walked through wasn't punishment, it was purification. The isolation wasn't rejection, it was preparation. The misunderstandings weren't failure. In the ancient whispers of time, before the stars aligned to form the constellations we know, there existed a divine blueprint, a tapestry woven by the hands of God Himself. Each thread represented a soul, a life, a purpose. And in that vast design, one thread glowed with a subtle, unyielding light, the thread of Elias, the chosen one. But Elias didn't know this, not yet. His story began not in glory, but in the muddied trenches of ordinary struggle, where faith is tested and destinies are forged in fire. Elias was born in the shadow of towering cliffs along the rugged coast of Eldoria, a forgotten town where the sea met the land in eternal conflict. The waves pounded the rocks like the heartbeat of an angry god, and the salt air carried the scent of dreams deferred. His parents were simple folk. His father, a fisherman who wrestled the ocean for meager bounties. His mother, a seamstress who mended not just cloth, but the frayed edges of hope in their small community. From a young age, Elias learned that life was a series of battles, against the storms that stole boats, against illnesses that claimed lives too soon, against the quiet despair that settled like fog over the hearts of the weary. As a boy, Elias was different. He had eyes that saw beyond the horizon, eyes that questioned the why of things. "Why does the sea take so much?" he'd ask his father, who would grunt and say, "Because it does, son. Fight or sink." But Elias dreamed of more. In the flickering light of oil lamps, he devoured old books borrowed from the village elder, tales of prophets who parted seas, warriors who slew giants, kings who rose from shepherds. These stories ignited a spark in him, a belief that perhaps, just perhaps, he was meant for something greater. Yet, as years passed, that spark dimmed. Life's relentless grind chipped away at it. By his 20th year, Elias had become a shadow of those boyhood dreams. He worked in the docks, loading crates under the blistering sun, his back bent like the old pier pilings. His hands, calloused and scarred, told stories of labor without reward. Friends from childhood had scattered, some to bigger cities chasing fortune, others lost to the sea or sickness. Elias stayed, bound by duty to his aging parents and a sense of invisible chains. But it was in this season of stagnation that the first unseen battle raged. Unbeknownst to Elias, in the spiritual realms above, forces clashed. Darkness, that ancient adversary, had taken notice of the subtle glow in Elias's thread. "This one could be a threat," it hissed to its minions. "He carries the mark of the chosen. Snuff him out before he awakens." And so the attacks began subtly. Whispers of doubt in the night, opportunities snatched away at the last moment, relationships poisoned by misunderstanding. Elias felt it as a weight on his soul, but he couldn't name it. He prayed sporadically, his words tumbling out like half-formed pleas. "God, if you're listening, show me a sign." The sign came, but not as he expected. It arrived in the form of Marcus, his closest friend since boyhood. Marcus had always been the reckless one, the one who laughed loudest, dreamed wildest, and fell hardest. When the lure of forbidden elixirs from distant traders ensnared him, Marcus spiraled into addiction. The village shunned him, calling him a lost cause. "Let him go," they advised Elias. "He's dragging you down." But Elias couldn't. Something deep within, a divine compulsion, urged him to stay.
Night after night, Elias ventured into the underbelly of Eldoria, dimly lit taverns where shadows danced like demons, alleyways reeking of despair. He sat with Marcus through the tremors, the rages, the hollow-eyed confessions. "Why bother?" Marcus would slur. "I'm done for." Elias would reply, "Because you're not, because I see something in you worth fighting for." He spent his scant earnings on herbal remedies from the healer, lost sleep holding vigil, even faced ridicule from the villagers who branded him a fool. "You're wasting your life," they said. But Elias persisted, his prayers now fervent. "God, fight for him, use me if you must." In the unseen world, God did fight. Angels wielded swords of light against encroaching darkness. Every time despair tried to claim Marcus, a barrier rose, Elias's unwavering presence. Months turned to a year, and slowly, miraculously, Marcus emerged from the abyss. He rebuilt his life, married, fathered children, and became a beacon for others lost in similar shadows. Marcus never forgot. "You saved me, brother." Elias shook his head. "It wasn't me, it was grace." But deep down, he wondered if that was his purpose fulfilled, a single act in a lifetime of obscurity.
Life pressed on. Elias's father passed in a storm. His mother followed from grief. Alone now, he moved to the bustling port city of Harbor's Reach, seeking new beginnings. But the battles intensified. A promising job as a shipwright's apprentice ended in betrayal when a jealous coworker framed him for theft. Elias was cast out, penniless and disgraced. He wandered the streets, sleeping in doorways, his faith fraying. "Why?" he cried to the heavens. "Have I not given enough?" Then came the illness, a fever that burned through him like wildfire. Doctors shook their heads, rare, untreatable. Elias lay in a charity ward, his body racked, his mind a battlefield of hallucinations. In fevered dreams, he saw glimpses of the spiritual war, dark entities clawing at his soul, accusing voices chanting, "Forgotten, unworthy, abandoned." But always a greater light intervened, a voice thundering, "This one is mine, I fight for him." He survived, emerging weaker but alive. The experience scarred him, but it also sharpened his senses. In Harbor's Reach, he found work as a laborer in the markets, where fates intertwined like the ropes of incoming ships. There, he met Leela, a woman with eyes like the calm after a storm. She was a storyteller, weaving tales for children in the square, her voice carrying the magic of forgotten lore. Their connection was instant, profound. For the first time, Elias felt seen, loved. They dreamed of a future, a home by the sea, children laughing, a life of quiet purpose. But darkness struck again. Jealous rivals spread rumors about Leela's past, twisting truths into lies. The community turned, and Leela, heartbroken, fled to protect Elias from the fallout. "I can't drag you into my shadows," she wrote in her farewell note. Elias shattered. He roamed the beaches at night, screaming at the waves. "God, why take this too? Am I cursed?" It was on one such night, under a canopy of stars that seemed to mock his pain, that the revelation broke through. Elias collapsed on the rocks, his body exhausted, his spirit at the brink. "If you're real, show me, fight for me to see something, anything." The wind stilled. Memories flooded like a tidal wave, not random, but orchestrated. He saw the job loss not as betrayal, but as divine redirection. Staying in Eldoria would have meant death in a great flood that claimed the shipyard. The illness? It purged not just his body, but toxic ties to a corrupt guild he hadn't noticed. Leela's departure? Painful, yes, but it spared them from a union built on unsteady ground. She would return, healed and whole in due time. Deeper still, Elias glimpsed the spiritual battles. God had fought relentlessly against the arrows of doubt, the snares of despair, the illusions of abandonment. Chosen one, the inner voice resounded, I fought for you to see this. This message comes for you, just you, in this precise moment. Every scar is a testament to victories won in realms unseen. The delays were my alignments, positioning allies, forging your character, timing the breakthrough. Elias rose, transformed. He sought out the village elders' scrolls, studying ancient prophecies. The chosen will endure the forge, emerge as a sword for the light. He realized his life wasn't random suffering, but a symphony of preparation. Marcus's redemption was the first note. Countless quiet acts followed, helping widows, mentoring lost youth, speaking truth in dark places. Word spread. People came to Elias, drawn by his quiet authority. How do you keep going? They'd ask. He'd share his story, the battles fought on his behalf. A movement stirred, the fellowship of the forged, souls awakening to their own chosen paths. Years later, when darkness threatened Eldoria with a great invasion, raiders from the north, Elias stood at the forefront, not with sword, but with strategy born of endurance, faith that moved mountains. The enemy faltered, turned back by what they called unnatural forces. Elias knew God fought again, through him. Leela returned, their love rekindled, stronger. They built that home, raised children who carried the light further. Elias lived long, his thread glowing brighter in the divine tapestry. And in quiet moments he'd whisper to the sea, "Thank you for fighting, for this message that came just for me." This story echoes for you, reader, the one whose eyes trace these words. God fought for you to see this. This comes for you, just you. In your struggles, your unseen battles, know you are chosen. The fire refines, the weight prepares, the victory awaits. Rise, your chapter unfolds.